Depending on the type of job you work at, you might have to fill in a timesheet and submit at the end of the week to make sure that you get paid for the appropriate amount of hours that you worked. This is common in jobs where you work on many different job sites throughout the week, or in a job where your time is split between different parts of your job. So one that we're going to look at here is a landscaper. And this is going to tie in our ideas about time with some of the payment work that we did earlier in the course. So our regular pay rate is $19.35 an hour. Our overtime pay rate is going to be $19.35 times 1.5 because we're getting paid at a rate of time and a half. So our total overtime pay rate is $29.03 per hour. Remember that our third digit is a 5, so we're rounding up to the 3. These bullet points down here tell us where and for how long the landscaper worked during the week. So that's what I'm going to fill in on my timesheet. So I'm going to start with my Monday jobs. I've got Lily Street first, and I worked there for 3 hours on Monday. The next thing I did on Monday was on Davis Avenue, and I worked for 2.5 hours there. The last thing I did Monday, worked a little bit of overtime. I worked on McKee Court for 4 hours. And that gives me a total of 9.5 hours that day. So now I've done my Monday jobs. I'm going to move on to Tuesday. So I started on 17th line and I worked on Tuesday 2.5 hours. After I finished there, I worked on Alberta Avenue and I worked for 5 hours there. Finally, I worked at the landscaping office doing some paperwork for 1.5 hours. Adding those together, I get 7, 8, I get 9 hours on Tuesday. So moving on to Wednesday, then I worked at Sparrow Crescent. I'll just put Sparrow in there. And I worked for 4 hours. Then I went back to Davis Avenue. So I already worked there on Monday. And I worked 2 hours. And then it rained in the afternoon. So that was all the work that I got done on Wednesday, 6 hours. So now I'm filling in Thursday. I worked on Alberta Avenue again for 7 hours. And then I worked for 2 hours at the office. So back up to a total of 9 hours. And then on Friday, it rained in the morning. So I only got to work on Main Street for 3.5 hours. So those were all the hours that I worked on Thursday. Okay, so I filled in under each day the job site and the number of hours that I worked at the job site. And then I added up each column to get my total number of hours per day. So now let's find my total hours. I'm just going to add those all up. So 9.5 plus 9 plus 6 plus 9 plus 3.5. So a total of 37 hours. Okay, so regular time is 37. I didn't actually work any overtime here. My rate per hour is $19.35. So I'm going to multiply those two together. Oops. So 37 times $19.35. And I'm going to get my total earnings are $715.95. Okay, and that's my value here too because I didn't work any overtime. If I did, for example, let's say I ended up working 43 hours, okay, then I would have 3 hours of overtime. My hourly rate would be $29.03, like I calculated above. I would multiply those together and then add them to my total earning. So that's an example of how to fill out a timesheet based on a list of jobs during the week.